Good morning everyone. Today I'm here to give you my take on redeveloping Kiribati. Kiribati is the poster child for climate change. It is located near the equator, which makes it a tropical area. This island has causeways built, which had been creating a lot of damage to the past colonizers as well as the ecosystem. Firstly, the ocean washing effect does nothing to the islands because they are being blocked by the causeways, which had caused a huge pollution to the island's lagoons. Secondly, the pipes and cables are exposed, contaminating the freshwater supply in the island. This means that Kiribati is extremely polluted and has very little freshwater supply. Now, I am going to introduce my redevelopment team. My team consists of plant breeders, environment inorganic chemists, environmental engineers, urban designers, and those who study civil and construction engineering. Start off. Plant breeder. A plant breeder studies a field of botany where traditional breeding is incorporated in new breeding methods, which do not limit genetically engineering the plants. The plant breeder will know which type of plants are suitable and whether implementing modern crossbreeding will benefit the island and its people. Here's an example of crossbreeding. Yellow and red corn kernels cross-pollinated to yield several colored kernels on the same crop. And next we have environmental inorganic chemists. These chemists investigate the soil to check for any major contamination as well as the chemical processes in the aquatic system that might harm the colonizers. How is this helpful? If the amount of chemical contaminants in the soil and aquatic environments are high enough to be a significant risk to long-term human health, then the source of chemical contaminant may have to be removed or treated to reduce the risk. And this is gone from Limer. This is a quote from Limer. Next will be the environmental engineer. An environmental engineer's main concern is the public's health, and the only way to ensure that is to eliminate pollutants. These engineers have an extensive knowledge of the chemistry and biology of contaminants. They're able to develop new techniques to reduce or even eliminate these pollutants on the island. Furthermore, they lack the sewage treatment systems, and this is quite concerning because liquid waste that's not taken care of will head straight to the bodies of water and eventually to the water we consume. Environmental engineers can develop these treatment plants for future nation of Kiribati. Next we have the urban designer. Now, as for urban designers, they are the architects of the outdoors. They work on the design of public sites. They assist in planning of areas needed in land for it to be comfortable and sustainable environment for the colonizers, as well as making it a successful area for it to build its economy. Urban designers lean towards raising the economy instead of the ecosystem because we want the island to be profitable in the future as well when it's habitable. Next we have those who study civil and construction engineering. Those who study in this field of engineering analyze and design infrastructures, which includes dams, hydroelectric systems, and buildings. Once they are done with the course, they will be able to construct infrastructures. Infrastructures are fundamental items on a piece of colonized land. Although the field has little to do with agriculture, these engineers can construct irrigation and hydroelectric systems to get things running in Kiribati. Plants are very important in order for an ecosystem to develop and grow. Species that are largely depended on by other species are called keystone species. The plants that the team and I have chosen include the red mangroves, sunflowers, Scots pines, horse mints, and the redwood buckwheat. Start off, the red mangrove is also known as Rhizophora mango and is the plant with the highest cost among the 5 plants chosen. It can grow up to 60 feet tall and it can grow in muddy and oxygen-poor soils. The red mangrove is a botanical amphibian, meaning it has 1 foot on land and 1 foot in the sea. It is a keystone mutualist, meaning it provides huge amount of resources to a variety of species. They serve as natural breakwaters, major carbon collectors, shore stabilizers and breeding grounds to many organisms. They have the capability to protect Kiribati from tidal surges and typhoons. The tidal system of the mangrove trees have the ability to filter chemicals from the water and prevent garbage from flowing into the sea. Mangrove trees will be a very beneficial asset to the island as the structure of the species can withstand tsunamis. They protect the shoreline, juvenile marine life, as well as coral reefs. The roots are areas where food chain can be formed for these species. The roots are also breeding grounds of algae, which is a food source for the smaller aquatic animals. With that being said, mangrove roots can also be one of the fishing areas for the islanders. Now I'm going to show you a short clip on how mangrove trees can help the nation. Sorry. Now here's when the tidal surge is coming. And as you can see, without reed mangrove trees, buildings can be demolished, and if there are reed mangrove trees, the buildings will be still pretty much stay intact. So it's great. Next, we have sunflowers. Sunflowers are annual plants, and they can withstand environments with low humidity and can grow up to 12 feet. They assess polluted soil and water environments as well as purify contaminants. Sunflowers remove heavy metals in the soil, and it is one of the very few plant species that can grow on soil with heavy metals in it. With that being said, if sunflowers were not planted on a region of land with many heavy metals, plant life will be extremely limited and there will be very little diversity of species living in that region. Sunflower is a quick growing plant as it only takes 5 to 10 days for germination, and they filter water through the mass of roots, thus allowing better growing conditions for the rest of the future plant species on the island. Next, you have the Scots pines. Scots pines are also known as Pinus sylvestris. It thrives in dry, sandy soil and can grow in dry and sandy environments. Its maximum height is 60 meters. Pine trees have a special way to prevent soil erosions. The interlocking of the pine needles actually stabilizes the soil. Scots pine has a tablet system that anchors the tree to the ground, and when planted together, they can create a natural windbreak. Many wildlife animals depend on these trees for safe grounds and nutrition. These pine trees provide shelters for animals, but do you know that they can be used to make shelters for humans too? By this, I don't mean using the trunks to construct houses. I mean using the pine needles and leaves. Debris shelters are created using tree branches, pine needles, and any soft greens such as shrubs and mosses. Here's an example of a debris shelter made by a camper. Next, we have forest mints, also known as Monarda citrudora. It can survive shady regions and drought seasons. This species attracts butterflies and bees and increases their activity greatly, which makes the species one of the main reasons why these insects are still alive. This also leads me to the next point. The plant is a great nectar source and can surely help with the honeybee problem in the world today. You might think, what do butterflies actually contribute to the ecosystem? They might seem insignificant, but 2/3 of all invertebrates rely on butterflies as a food source. Without them, the whole ecosystem, not just the island, but the world, has a high chance of collapsing. Here's another thing about horse mints that may appeal to you. It releases incense-like odor that repels mosquitoes. Next, you have the buckwheat, the red-root buckwheat. It is also called Eriogonum racemosum. Has an annual plant life and can grow up to 40 to 50 centimeters. The fine roots of redroot buckwheat loosens the soil and also stores phosphorus contents in their tissues. This makes it perfect for them to be utilized as green manure. The species also have a shallow, fibrous root system that helps it to be drought tolerant. The plant is high in fiber, which improves the aeration of the soil and increases earthworm activity. Buckwheats are natural herbicides. When the plant withers, the decomposing roots can suppress wheat seed germination. Since this is a food crop, it can contribute a lot to the economy. China is currently the largest producer of buckwheat, and with the high demand of the crop now, Kiribati can take this as an advantage in the future when the island is habitable. So, now that I've introduced my redevelopment team and plans, the total cost of the plan will be $11 million. 50% will go to the team, 10% will go to the plans, and 40% will be towards materials and transportation. The estimated time needed for the project to be brought up is a decade. Red mangroves will be slow growing, so it needs more time to grow, but it does not have to grow to its maximum height to achieve what's needed. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Here's my works cited, and yay!